Thanks, Jamie. We're here at Playhouse Square, and I am with Amber Ruffin, who is a writer on the national tour here of The Wiz. This show is so beloved, and it's been around for a long time, but it hasn't been around for a long time.
That's right. I think everyone loves The Wiz because when The Wiz came onto the scene in the 70s, there had not been anything like it up until that point. And so then when it happened, it shifted what we thought of when we thought of musicals. Because now a musical can be fun, the songs can be songs that we actually enjoy and could like hear on the radio.
Yeah.
It's also chock full of black people, which not a lot of shows are.
Right.
So,
well, look at what Hamilton did in
Yeah.
terms of transcending genres of music and what a cast looks like and,
Yeah.
and things of that nature, for sure.
and that's why that felt so special, because you knew you were seeing the next thing. And that's how people felt when they saw The Wiz. They knew they weren't watching old stuff. They were seeing the future of musicals.
Fresh, something edgy, something, like you said, popular, that music you'd hear on the radio.
That's right.
So what did you want to do in contributing to kind of this version of The Wiz?
What we wanted was to celebrate Black excellence. And when that's the directive, everything else kind of falls into place, you know?
Sure.
Because
It's easy to do.
it's easy to do when you imagine yourself as, like, because I'm a performer, I could never do what these people do. Oh my God, this cast. But when you imagine, like, what would I want to be doing if I were The Wiz? And then you just write that. And that worked, you know, so well for each of the actors. And when I feel like they're doing what they love to do in this show, then I'm like, well, great. That's 2 satisfied people.
Right.
And that's more than we had when we got in here.
Right, and I imagine the limitations that existed when the original story was written don't necessarily exist anymore in terms of what you can do, what you can say, who you can include, right?
That's right. I would say the original Wiz was certainly like very black, but back then what was black and for public consumption was a little bit through the white lens. So here we got to just be like, what is the blackest version of The Wiz?
And celebrate it and lift it up,
and
right?
celebrate it, right? And so that's kind of what we've done, is everybody's got their weights off and we're just doing what feels great.
Let it fly.
Yeah.
That's great. Are these songs going to be in everybody's head again or for the first time for some people?
Dude, okay, so we, you know, have been rehearsing and
Sure.
stuff, and these,
They're in your head,
our
aren't they?
singers are outstanding, but the arrangements of these songs will replace what you think of when you think of music from The Wiz. 1,000%.
Cool.
I tried to think of the old version of Be a Lion the other day, and I couldn't do it.
Couldn't even drum it back up?
I couldn't even reach back and get it because it's so, these arrangements are so perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Now we have producer Brian Anthony Moreland with us. I want to know, what about the choreography? Because this is such a special set of songs. It deserves some special choreography, right?
100%. And the choreographer is unbelievable. So right now, it was just her birthday, a previous client that he worked with, a very, very famous birthday. You might know her as Queen Bee.
Oh my gosh.
Beyonce.
Beyonce's choreographer is doing this show? Come on.
100%. So
Wow.
you also know his work from Single Ladies, you know, Single
yes, I'm
Ladies.
familiar.
And he's got a brand new H&M campaign out right now that he's collaborating with Jane Fonda called Move. It's a whole Move campaign.
Oh, cool.
You can Google it. It's absolutely amazing. His name is Jaquel Knight.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, what he has created for The Wiz is absolutely unreal. People are going to walk out trying to imitate the Emerald City number that opens Act 2.
They're going to be dancing out
Yes.
in the aisles of Playhouse Square.
100%, right onto the street.
That's great. So I was asking Amber too, there must have been people who were just clamoring to be a part of this project. What about things like costume or scenery and things of that nature?
Oh my gosh, you asked the best questions. So, let's start with the set. So, if you were a fan of Black Panther, which I was, you know, Wakanda forever, boom, down. The first African-American woman to win an Oscar, her name is Hannah Bleeker. And Hannah is our set designer for The Wiz.
Wow.
And she's making her Broadway debut. And this is just gonna be unreal. It's an Afro-futuristic fanciful take on The Wiz. And the costumes, amazing. Sharon Davis is doing the costume design. You know her work from the Dreamgirls movie that Jennifer Hudson won her Oscar for. You know her work from Ray, which Jamie Foxx won his Oscar for.
Sure.
So her work is really nuanced and period and really lovely. But most importantly, I think you're gonna be excited by Amber's work. Amber's work as a writer on this to redesign and reimagine The Wiz is absolutely amazing. I'll give you away one tidbit. So we ordinarily land in Munchkin Land, and in this particular version of Munchkin Land actually takes place in the French Quarter of New Orleans.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually a full parade that you would see as a procession.
Oh, what beautiful, like visual, like a visual there for sure.
100%. So that's a big departure from what you've ordinarily experienced as Munchkin Land, but also the same fantasy that we know and love already.
Sure. So if people want to see this, how long's the run?
You can see it right here at Playhouse Square, October 3rd through the 22nd.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.